So welcome back to our 30-day JavaScript coding challenge, and this is day 2, and today we are diving into one of the most important topics of any programmer. These are the variables and the data types. So by the end of this lesson, you'll have a solid understanding of how to store data using variables and how to differentiate between JavaScript's different data types. So if you are getting started with JavaScript, this lesson is going to be a game changer. So let's dive in. What exactly is a variable? Variables. So variable is like a storage container where you can keep different types of data, whether there is a number or even a word or more complex data type. So variables allow you to store and manipulate information that can change as your program runs. In this or in JavaScript, in this language, JavaScript, there are 3 ways to declare a variable. And the first one is let. So the first one is let. And then the second one is var, that is it. And then the last one is const. Const, that is the last one. Var being the old school way of declaring variables. So I am going to display or to write an example of how to declare variables or the variable declaration with var. So the first thing you are going to write in your, so as you can see, this is my, on your left is the editor, the VS Code, and then in our right, the browser, the display of the browser. This is the display of the browser, and it currently has nothing. That is it. It should be that way. And so we are going to write a first example. And before you start, you should write script. That is it. Script. That is a way of displaying or writing JavaScript using the editor. So we said we are going to use variable or var, let's say age is equals to 34, for example, and then we terminate it with a semicolon, and then now we can display this using the console.log, and then we display age, and then we terminate this with a semicolon. So as you can see, this 34 here should be displayed here. Let's run and see. This is it. 34 should be displayed here. So that means our code is correct and it has no errors. So here we are using this var to declare a variable called age, this one, and we are assigning the value to 34. Then we print it to the console using the console log. We print it to the console using the console log age, and therefore it has displayed it here. That is it. And now we are going to see the next way of declaring a variable. So we said we have used here, we have used var. Next is let. We are going to use let. We are going to use let, and we are going to start let. So today we are going to use name is equal to. So when you are declaring a name, you use 2 quotations. So let's declare Edison, and then we terminate it with a semicolon. And now we can print it on the console using the console.log, and then we write name. and then you terminate this with a semicolon. So here we have declared a variable name and assigned the value to be Edison using the let. So let's see what is displayed on the screen. You can refresh this. Edison. So you can see here Edison is what has been displayed on the console. So that means our code is running smoothly. It has no errors. That means our code is running smoothly and it has no errors. Another way is using the const. Today we are going to use const again. We have used let and the var. Now we are going to use const. So constant is for the values that does not change throughout the code. So for example, const, what in real life does not change? For example, the date or the day or the year in which you were born. So let's use that. The constant birth year, birth year, constant birth year. Let's say I was born in the year 1998, and then we terminate it with a semicolon. Now we can print on the console.log, and then we print the birth year, and then we terminate this with a semicolon. So here we have used const, and we have said that const is that once it is assigned the value, or once it is assigned or declared, it cannot be changed. So it is constant, meaning it cannot be reassigned. And this is a great way if you want to make sure that a variable won't change throughout your code. So here we have declared birth year and we have assigned 1998. So let's see it on the console. Let's refresh this. So you can see it is 1998. Again, our code does not have errors. That is it. So we have learned the var, the let, and the const. And we have said that const is declaring a variable that does not change throughout the program. So the next thing we are going to do is to learn on the data types. The data types in JavaScript. So now that we understand how to declare variables, let's talk about the data types, or the types of data you can store in the variable. So JavaScript is normally a loosely typed language, meaning that you don't need to specify the data type of a variable when you declare it. JavaScript will automatically determine the types based on the value you assign. So there are many primitive data types in JavaScript. The first one is number, and then the second one is string, the third one is Boolean, undefined, that's the fourth, the fifth is null, and the sixth is symbol. So let's go over them quickly with examples. The first one, we have numbers, and numbers in JavaScript include both integers and decimals. So a code example for numbers is where we say let age, let's assign this to today, let's assign 30 or 40, that's okay. And then that is an integer, so let's give a comment to that comment. Sorry, that is an integer. Then let us use another one. decimal, for example price, price. So let's write price is equals to 9.999. That is a decimal, and then now we can print both of them. You can say console.log, and then we print the age, comma, and the price. Print the age and the price, and then we terminate it with a semicolon. So let's see what it prints. You have an error, so that means we have errors. Where are the errors here? Console.log age. Age is the error. What am I writing? Age. Age, that is it. Age is 40, and then the price is 9.999. That is with numbers. So next up, we have strings, which are used to represent text, or you can wrap strings in either single quotes or double quotes. So let's use, for example, what can we use in the strings? Maybe first name and the second name. So let first name, can leave it that way, first name to be Edison, and then we terminate that with a semicolon, and then we can let the second name, let s name to be Heart. So we said when you are using strings, you have to write them inside quotations, single quotations or double quotations. Then we terminate that with a semicolon, and now we can print in the console using the console log, the console.log. We can print the first name, comma, and then we can print the s name, the second name. Let us see that in our console. Let's refresh. So you can see it is displaying Edison Hart. So we are okay up to that point. That is strings. That is where we display, or we use the primitive data type string. Next up is, or the third one is, we have the booleans. The booleans, true or false. These are the greatest way when you need to make a decision in your code. So for example, I'm going to write an example also for us to get this well. So let's say let, so which condition, for example, is a male, for example, is male, true. Just write true. Conditions, in conditions you don't have to use anything, and then you display, you terminate that with a semicolon, and then let is female is equals to false, and then you terminate that. So when we print in the console.log, then you display, so here we display is male, comma, and then is female, and then we terminate this with a semicolon. So let's see if we are correct. Yes, so that it has displayed true, false. So that means we have no error in our code. So the other things, or the other, like the null, the undefined, and the symbol, we are just going to go through them. We are not going to write examples. So in the undefined, a variable is undefined if it hasn't been assigned to a value. For example, if you just declare a variable x or y or a and then you don't assign anything, so the console will print that it is undefined. And the next, the null, we said it represents the international absence of any value, like void, null, void. You can explicitly set a variable to null when you want to indicate that it is empty. So on the last one, finally we have a symbol, which is new data type introduction in the ES6, and symbols are used to create unique identifiers for objects, but they aren't something you'll need right away. So we'll revisit them in our later lesson. Getting done with that. So I think, guys, we are doing okay so far. It is day 2. That's it for day 2. And today you have learned how to declare variables using the var, the let, and the const. And you have covered the main data types that you will encounter in JavaScript. So before we move on, take some time to practice. Try declaring variables of different types and experiment with changing their values. And tomorrow we are going to explore JavaScript operators and learn how to manipulate the data or the data stored in your variables. And thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.